JM 88 FM and on the internet.
Join UIA Australia for our weekly Israel updates from 1:30 on Tuesday afternoons. We'll bring you all the latest news and events from Israel, along with a unique analysis of current affairs, including a Q&A. Also feature guest speakers, ensuring you stay connected. Watch out for our weekly emails and register today. Updates recommence from Tuesday the 1st of February. J-Air is not responsible for the views and opinions expressed by its presenters or guests. J-Air presents a wide variety of views and opinions, which is to the benefit and purpose of community radio.
The right stuff.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have just assumed your genders. You're back with Harry and Rabbi Pesach for another hour of hijinks and mayhem on J-Air. How are we, Rabbi Pesach?
Good evening, listeners. Good evening, Harry. It's wonderful to be back in the studio, even though we're both so tired tonight. We must be mad. In the middle of the week, we do this. What are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. You know what? It wasn't as though I had such a heavy day, but probably would have been about 7:45. I just fell asleep on the couch.
Oh, you did get a schluff like me.
Yeah, I woke up. It would have been about 7:45, and by 8:05, I was up and awake again, just going, "Oh, what the hell happened to me?"
So you feel better now?
I'm feeling much better now. I'm refreshed. I'm even hyped, just for being here.
That's a nice way to be.
Because who knows what's going to happen? Because anyone could call us on 90692087 to discuss
Hello, Brett. Brett's
anything. G'day, Brett. To discuss anything they so choose. And if they don't call, you know what happens?
What happens?
Well, we discuss anything we choose.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. You can call up and we can go off on a complete tangent for the whole evening.
That's exactly
talking about your topic.
You know, instead of feeling the need to write a complaint into the management, you can just call us and change the whole direction of the conversation.
But we like to keep the management happy with these complaints.
Well, we'd like to give them something to do because there's nobody else giving them anything to do.
Well,
I don't know when any of the other programs run because there's clearly nothing running before we're on. Maybe that's why they've changed us.
I
thought it was really good when we were on straight after the movie show.
They certainly don't.
So people were calling up to hear the
movie
reviews.
show was funny.
The reviews about the movies.
Bring back the movie show. We used to have a good laugh at that.
We even used to enjoy the reviews that they did and watch some of the movies that they recommended. So that worked really nicely for us. If anybody out there has a movie that they think we should go and see, feel free to give us a call and talk about it.
And we can talk like this.
Yes. Like Liz Smiley. But you have a whole bunch of stuff you want to talk about this week, Rabbi. So
what did you do today? You went back to the school today and taught them how to service. No, you didn't teach how to service.
No, we were doing.
What was today? Harry's doing community service at King David's School, teaching the boys and girls.
No, there's just a group of boys. I don't think any of the girls were interested. So today we did what we call pre-drive checks. So if you're going off, if you're going to do a long trip in your car, just what you look for, what you check, making sure that you're doing your best to ensure that you're going to get from point A to point B safely and reliably.
Going around. So what's an example?
So we're going over the car. So we're doing, checking tyres, tread depth, the age of the tyres, how much pressure we've got in them, brake fluid levels, clutch fluid levels, power steering. Is the air conditioning system
to have an effect on the rest of their
any impact
lives,
on the episode? None whatsoever. But
why? What happened? Why don't you think they'll pay any attention?
Why? Because I don't think any of these kids come from families that have any appreciation for road trips.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I never thought about that. I can't imagine a family that doesn't go on a road trip.
I don't think any of these kids come from families where mum and dad just go, you know what, we're jumping in the car and we don't know where we're going to end up, or we know we're going to be doing,
that's a bit sad.
4,500 Ks over the next 2 weeks.
No, that is your domain. That is the Grave domain of saying, let's get in the car and drive 5,000 kilometres. That's not normal.
That's right, because 5,000 kilometres only gets you halfway there.
We do. People
It's
generally
like you try explaining- you try
doesn't everyone
explaining
do
to-
road trips?
You try explaining to people overseas, like Europeans. If you're stuck in the car for 10 hours, you've probably driven through 5 different countries.
Well, that's very funny.
Whereas you say whereas a Queenslander, if you're stuck in the car for 10 hours, you're still in Queensland.
That's very funny. Yeah, that's true.
It's a
We
totally
can drive
different
for hours and we've
proposition.
gone the width of Israel 500 times.
That's right.
Wow. So, are you saying to me that there are people out there who don't get in the car and go for family holidays?
Yeah,
No.
there's always
Wow.
an aeroplane involved, and there's always a 5-star resort, and there's always, so that's how some people do it. I mean,
It's
don't get me
just-
wrong.
it
In
boggles
fact,
my
my wife
mind.
Tam and I are currently looking at taking a bit of a trip that includes a 5-star holiday, but it's a 2,500 kilometre road trip to get there.
Oh, well, as long as it's got some
But
sort of
we will be,
bang for the buck,
yeah, because it's on Fraser Island.
that's lovely.
So we're looking at going to Fraser Island.
Yeah.
And we were even saying to the kids that we're starting to plan this trip because it takes time to sort of work out how you're going to get there, what time of year you're going to do it, what sort of things do you need to take with you. So we started talking with the kids. We're thinking about doing this trip up to
You've been to Fraser Island. You've been to
We've
Fraser
been
Island.
to Fraser
haven't you?
before, but then from Fraser, we want to go to Cape York. So the first thing the kids say is, and like, as you know, Tam and I are kind of
Yeah.
starting to enjoy the whole semi-empty
What's it
nester
called? Empty
thing.
nest? Right.
The semi-empty nester thing. The kids don't want to know us most days of the week, and
Can you
we say,
tell-
we want to go up to Cape York. It's like, can we come
See
too?
ya. Oh, now they want to come.
Now they want to go.
Can you take your car all the way to Cape York? I think there's a bit
I
where
think
you
it's the
can't get
last
to.
100 metres or
Oh, is that
something
what it is? Right.
before you actually get to the sign that says this is the northernmost point of Australia. There is
you
actually
get-
a sign on a post
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
that
I'd like to see
says
that. How's all your Pesach preparations going at home?
Pesach preparations, yeah, Tam's getting a little bit antsy, but I just keep saying because it's Friday next week,
Yeah.
I reckon Sunday's going to be the big day for me. And
What are you going to do? What's
I just
something
chill.
that you do for Pesach?
I just chill. We clean out absolutely everything, and then I got to wrap all the benches and the splashbacks and all that sort
Have
of
you
stuff.
got your paper and
So,
foil all ready to go?
Yeah, it's all ready to go. So I'll do that, and
I suppose we can't
We
burn
get
your bench
haircuts?
tops.
no, as a marble,
Oh, so we can.
you could,
Yeah, let's do that.
but I just cover it.
So much easier. Just boil it.
Just
Put
boil it.
boiling water over the top of it.
Yeah, but I've already got the paper.
Foil, okay.
Haircuts. That's a big one. Sunday morning haircuts.
You didn't notice my haircut? I got my peyote in a knot tonight. Oh, it really hurt.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I mean, it kind of feels like it hurt. You can't feel it, but it's but like you're pulling. You think, oh my god, I don't want my peyote to break apart.
Yeah.
Pesach. Oh my gosh, it's so busy this week. So busy.
Yeah, but you're busy because you're a mashgiach.
and everyone wants their stuff done. And
Yeah.
and I've been out to the winery at 5 a.m. and then off to a regular job at 8 a.m. and it just doesn't end. It's great, Baruch Hashem.
Yeah.
Baruch
But
Hashem.
you
It's
also
all
come
good
around
fun.
and you get a bit of a break.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
A couple of days off. I wonder if we're going to be able to sleep in. Are you performing? Is the choir performing over Pesach?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Harry
because
performs in
Dov,
the Caulfield Shul Choir with the
The
Chevra.
Chevra. No, because Dov is doing Pesach in Italy.
Oh, Dov's not around.
Yes.
So you should have offered to
So-
take over his place.
I can't be I'm no chazan.
The other day, Harry, I was I started humming. And I said to the person next to me, "Oh my God, all I can think about at the moment is my friend Harry Grave, who sings Kedusha to Elvis Presley's. What is it?
Can't help falling in love.
Can't help falling in love.
Yeah, Daritzcha. Yeah.
Give us a quick rendition.
No.
Come
no.
on.
But remember last week we had the sushi and sake. The Israeli we had Israeli classic music.
Yeah.
And sushi and sake.
Yeah.
And one of the Chevromen, because we've got a group chat.
By the way, stop. Call in or send us a message on 90692087 or send us a Facebook post if you would like Harry to do a quick rendition of his.
There's no
of
need for that.
Elvis
You know what?
Presley.
Just come to Caulfield Shul on a Shabbos. You never know what you're going to get. But one of the Chevromen puts up on the group chat, how can you reconcile sushi and sake with Israeli classics? And it just popped into my head.
Go for it.
So
I'm not getting it.
I quickly did a voice message of one of those voice memo things for him and recorded Lachado D to the tune of Sukiyaki. Sukiyaki.
No.
That
Tell me. How does it go?
you don't know.
Play it
the
back on your
tune?
phone.
No. But it's a
What's
Sukiyaki.
Sukiyaki?
It's a
What's
Japanese
Sukiyaki?
tune.
How does it go? Well, hum it.
So anyway, I've done that. That was on like the Tuesday or the Wednesday. Anyway, by the time Shabbos rolled around, I took the biggest crack at him because I just had
Why?
that tune stuck in my head. Like I was waking up at 2:00 in the morning humming this Fakakta song just to help him feel
Harry,
better.
what does it mean
Oh, what?
in your Facebook posts? What does it mean the head is back on? We're not talking about your head. Is it
No.
something to do with a car? The head is back on.
Yeah. I'm basically rebuilding the engine in my Nissan Patrol again, and I finally got the head on it. That's a big moment.
Does it mean you can turn the ignition yet?
No. No. There's.
How far away are we from turning the ignition key?
Oh, look, if I did nothing but work on that vehicle, probably 2 days.
Could you get it with the parts you've got right now? Could you put it back together and
Yeah.
turn it on?
Yeah.
So what's stopping you?
Well, because my day, like yours,
Yeah.
is not dedicated to a single narcissistic task. There are other things that need to be done and attended to. So, otherwise I don't earn the money that allows me to play with my cars. It's very simple. It's basic economics.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I've got everything to get it up and running. But it just takes time to bolt it all on. Yes, I think I put that post up. I'd put the head on.
Yeah.
I hadn't bolted it down yet. Well, just doing up the bolts
Yeah.
was like a 2-hour process.
Gosh, how do you devote
Because
that?
there's,
That mental effort to doing that is just ridiculous for
Well,
me.
what took the
Just
most?
send it off to a Daniel Ladies.
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of people do. But the hardest thing,
Yeah.
I thought it'd save me a bit of time, was actually numbered each of the bolts because you got to follow a particular sequence
Oh, do you?
to put. Yeah. You can't just go, I'll do this one and then that one and then that one and then that one and then
Why
that
do you
one.
have to follow a sequence for putting the head on?
Well, imagine the inside of an engine. Imagine the pressure
Yeah.
that happens inside an engine every time a cylinder fires.
Sure.
Right? If those bolts aren't torqued down in a particular sequence that the factories have spent months and months, if not years, developing, what are you?
I thought I could hear a phone ringing or something.
I hear bells.
Yeah, I definitely heard bells.
So if the bolts aren't torqued down in a particular sequence that the factories spent
All right, I get
years
it. It's
developing,
boring.
it's not going to happen.
All right, now we're going to go
Boring
to a
for you,
station
maybe.
promo, and then we're going to come and talk about your...
What's about me? Talk about yours.
No.
Talk about
Fear,
yours.
psychosis, and the cult of safety.
Oh.
Enjoy listening to J-Air? Support us and become a member by visiting our website j-air.com.au.
What the hell is fear, psychosis? And I wasn't going to listen to it. I'm sorry. Or watch it.
Okay,
or
it's a
whatever
bit.
it was.
There's a YouTube.
But you said everyone has to look at this.
I said, people, you should look at this and show it to people that you care about because it's basically a YouTube video, a channel called Academy of Ideas.
All right.
And they've done a number of videos along these lines where our obsession with safety actually prevents innovation and we become so risk averse
Right. We're
that
wrapping ourselves up in cotton wool so much.
that you can't really live.
We're
a
hamstringing
fulfilling-
ourselves.
Exactly. That you can't live a fulfilling life.
I quit a job
if
recently
at
because I was being hamstrung.
every point.
Sorry.
Let's not go there. So yeah, basically it was really simple, and I like that message. I like that message of sometimes you just have to take a risk to find out.
That I remember someone saying to me back in the 90s. He said to me, "Oh, it was such so cringeworthy, but it's so true." It was go outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Is that it?
No, this isn't
more
about
so.
this isn't about the individual comfort zone, because in actual fact the cult of safety makes your comfort zone so incredibly necessary that you can't break the boundaries of that comfort zone. And as a society, I mean, you have a look at all the rigmarole you got to go through these days. And again, I get it to an extent. To an extent, I get it. I think it's
there's
great
an
that
extent
more
where
people
we should be safe.
There is an extent. So people have the right to expect that they're going to go to work and then come home, right? Not die on the job in their hundreds of thousands like they did during the Industrial Revolution,
Like the Panama
and hence
Canal.
and hence the rise of the union movements and all that sort of stuff. But people also have to be allowed to take risk. If you've got anything to say about this, please 906-920-87. Have a look at the automotive industry. We're making cars safer and safer and safer to the point where we're now including interventionary, if that's the right word to use, interventionary technology to
with the automatic pilot sort of thing.
to
on cars.
overcome the errors individuals may make.
Which
Yet-
helps us.
Yet, by the same token, if someone only invented a motorcycle yesterday, they'd be banned.
If someone only invented a motorcycle yesterday, they would be banned. Right.
Right?
Right.
So what the point I'm getting at is we've increased the mistake survivability factor in one type of motor vehicle, yet another one is still stuck where it started.
Yeah. It's a bit like when the electric vehicles started to appear on the market. You couldn't really register them in Australia because there were no laws for electric vehicles.
Yeah.
So you couldn't live inside that new zone because the safety had so encroached on our way of life that we couldn't go beyond it.
Yeah, but like from a safety point of view, even, at what age do you let your kids take themselves for a walk down to the park, which is just at the end of the street?
The media makes us really scared about those things.
Well, because they keep on telling us about the same cases. If we want to start talking about child abductions, they haven't increased in God knows how long, like in decades, since the Beaumont children disappeared. But because we keep hearing about the same high-profile cases over and over again, it makes it feel as though it's never ended. Could you remember living a life? I think she'd now be 20, 21.
Go on.
But can you remember any time in your life prior to the disappearance of Madeleine Kahn?
All right.
No, I'm serious.
But to me, it actually only feels like last year, but it's actually quite a while ago.
She was 3 when she was abducted.
So how many years ago is it? Is it over 15 years ago?
I think it's over 15 years.
Good grief. Is
For
it
Madeleine
really?
McCann, yeah.
Wow.
Local cases. William Tyrrell, I think, would now be 10.
And we still talk about Madeleine.
And we still talk about it
Yeah.
as though they've just disappeared.
All right.
So, yeah, we have this obsession with safety.
So
safety
you
to
must have had
survive.
something in particular on your mind when you...
No,
when you
I
were
just like that message of don't spend your life
Yep.
living in fear because there is some risk attached to whatever activity it is you wish to undertake. Right?
Okay.
Like,
and how
there
have
is
you
a-
brought that into your life, Harry?
I
Grove?
don't know.
There
I
must be
just like
something.
the message.
Well, you kind of live life on the edge a little bit. You know, you don't hold things back if you have something to say. So
Yeah, but that doesn't affect my
you're-
safety because I'm never around people with firearms. You know, as I say, I just like that message. I don't, you know, let's be honest. There are people who, let's say, for example, go skydiving.
Yeah.
And as they say, if at first you don't succeed, skydiving isn't for you. But
There's no
there are people who go skydiving. There
You
is
made me
risk
think that. Why
associated
did you
with it.
make me think there?
Think where?
I had to think about that.
Okay. But there's risk associated with that, yes?
Maybe
And-
maybe our JAir program is about risk management and safety.
There have been, well, it shouldn't be.
Do you know I had to clean the studio tonight?
I know.
That was very dangerous.
You put on your little French maid's uniform.
And the cord from the vacuum cleaner hadn't been put back into the
someone's-
vacuum
someone's
cleaner.
but that's the annoying thing. Someone schlepped the cord out of the vacuum
What the
cleaner.
hell is wrong with
but
you?
hasn't managed to plug it
Press
in anywhere.
the button and pull the
push
cord
it
back in.
But think about it. Someone's
Sorry to
managed
get off topic
to
there.
schlep the cord
I
out.
wanted to say that the whole
But
time.
no
so
one's
far.
managed to plug it in and push the vacuum cleaner around to actually use it to clean the floor.
So we were warned in an email a couple of days ago that you never seem to get, or you never look at your emails.
don't-
Never
I
send
don't-
Harry an email, everyone.
I just can't. Like, who's going to send me a significant email?
How would
Right.
you know?
Clearly, the management of JAir
So
thinks
we
it was
were-
significant, but it was basically some guidelines for how to conduct oneself during an election campaign. And
So every time you hear a political advertisement that says this ad was paid for or was sponsored by blah, blah, blah.
this ad was brought to you by some schmuck with too much money. Give us a call on 90692087. Let's talk politics.
So I don't follow the media so much. I do read the websites and all the news websites and everything, but I don't mind ScoMo. I like ScoMo. He's all right.
Okay.
Actually, someone got upset at me for calling him ScoMo. Was it you?
I think it was me.
Yeah. Who do you think
I
you are?
don't mind the Prime Minister.
You're the best friend.
You're not his buddy. You're not his mate. I don't mind the Prime
Well,
Minister
I'm
at
going-
all.
I'm going to refer to him in the conventional way that most Australians and media do. So, so I don't
Scotty.
mind. I don't mind. No, that's not nice
Why not?
because Scotty sounds like he's got no friends.
To you, maybe.
It was terrible, that thing from school. ScoMo is okay to me. I don't mind. Give us a call. Give me a call and change my mind. But they're playing the man, not the ball.
But there seems to be a
It's
lot of
always
people.
Character assassination.
Yeah, but
Get
what?
over yourselves.
Okay, but there seems to be a bunch of people all of a sudden, like on his own team, that have gone to bat for the other team. Like, there's
Yeah.
all these people coming. Oh, he's a bully. He's a this. He's a that. Like,
I remember when. Do you
What's the
recall
story
when
there?
Jeff Kennett was aiming to get re-elected? I'm not sure how many terms he had, 1 or 2, and the upcoming state election, he told all of his ministers, he said, no one is allowed to say anything without passing it by me first. And they did not get elected. And that is not the right kind of attitude. If you cannot trust your people
sure.
to open their mouths when they feel and deem it fit, I mean, these are ministers
Yep.
of the state,
Yep.
representatives of all of the, what do
Yeah,
you call
but
it,
he
the
tried to
electorate.
control every
he tried to
single
call it-
part of the narrative down to the
But I
last
don't-
detail, and it blew up in his face.
And I don't see ScoMo doing that. Am I wrong?
No. And look, I
Someone
take a
got their
slightly
nose
different
out of
view.
joint, and now they're bringing it to him.
yeah.
What's your view?
But like my view with this federal election that's coming up, it doesn't matter who wins. we're screwed. Could you please stop disassembling the studio?
It doesn't matter who wins. It doesn't
It
matter
doesn't matter who
wins.
wins. We're screwed.
Why?
Um,
The economy's in a fairly decent state at the moment.
It is.
Inflation is low. Unemployment is low.
It is.
We need 1 million workers.
Without a manufacturing base, however,
Yeah.
we are at the behest of whatever anybody else somewhere else chooses to produce.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you know my
because-
daughter brought that up with me the other day? She said, "Was it my daughter? I think it was." She said, "Where's
well,
all
it wouldn't
the-"
have been your son.
No, it wasn't my son. Well, it could have been my son-in-law. No, they said someone said to me yesterday that where's all the production in Australia? And I had to explain to them
gone.
all about Gough Whitlam and the removal of the tariffs back in 73, 74.
Yep.
And he was the Labor Prime Minister
Yep.
with the backing of the unions.
Yep, it was supposed to look after the workers and the jobs,
And
all that
production
sort
went
of
out the
stuff.
window.
It certainly
The
did.
schmutter industry went out the window.
Yep.
And I can completely understand, like in Donald Trump's last, when he had his term, he got rid of the free trade agreements where America got the short end of the stick. So why the hell shouldn't we have tariffs? Why shouldn't we protect our economy?
Because if we put up tariff walls, then other people put up tariff walls, and then it's all
And now we've just signed a free
the
trade agreement
problem
with
is
India.
we have just signed a free trade agreement with India, which I believe is a much better state of affairs than signing free trade agreements with China.
China, 100%.
I'm much more comfortable that we've got deals with India than we have deals with China, because we've entered this globalized world, and we are a country with, let's be honest, a fairly insignificant population. We have to continue along these lines. But then by the same token, there are things we need to do to help our industries as well. So I think it was Paul Keating that introduced the luxury car tax all those years ago.
And that would have been a good thing for all the luxury cars that were entering Australia.
It protected Australian car manufacturing without an overt tariff wall.
Do you think it was a bad thing?
Because the luxury car tax was set at the price of the Holden Caprice, which at the time was the most expensive car being produced in Australia. So any car that was sold above the price of a Holden Caprice copped the luxury car tax. But now, industry is paying the bulk of the luxury car tax because the Toyota Land Cruiser and the Y61 Patrol Trayback are now at a price above that ceiling, however it's been set or indexed or whatever. So you're now paying luxury car tax on vehicles that are being bought to schlep
commercial car.
Small fire appliances and support industry.
Anyway, just to finish off that topic, I mean, I just see all this character assassination nonsense going on in the media at the moment, and people, it's the media that's actually doing the job of giving airtime, airspace to these people.
Let's be honest, journalists have become very lazy. The media now is all about, a 20-second soundbite, not about actually providing you real, deeply analytical, researched information.
Yeah.
If you want that sort of stuff, well, then you've just got to look further, and then all those people are referred to.
I'm not necessarily advocating that we should all march out and vote for ScoMo, but I do think that that we don't necessarily need to be listening to the rubbish that's going on at the moment, and just good luck to
I think
the better governing
I
party.
think. Well, it's not going to be a good luck to the better governing party. It's going to be good luck to the better campaigning party.
Yeah.
Because they're very, let's be honest, they're very similar. And I think, especially at the federal level, any change is simply going to be change for the sake of change.
I can't believe they're still going with Anthony Albanese. I mean, how many times has this guy lost? Or he just can't.
No, Shorten lost the last one.
He can't speak. Albanese can't speak.
Short
He
of-
doesn't know how to go on the attack.
Well, one he can't speak to. He is a very left-wing Labor leader. Like, he is incredibly left-wing.
It gets very down when all they do is attack, and it's like just so poisonous, and you don't feel like voting for anyone.
Well, that's true, and you're not obliged to vote for anyone. Let's
Mate, you
be
can
honest.
donkey vote.
You're obliged to attend a polling station.
I do not advocate donkey voting.
That's it. I'm not advocating donkey voting either. I think that you're given you've got the privilege of voting and having a say in how your state or country or municipality is run, and you should take that opportunity and do the best you can with it. But as I say, I don't think whether there is a change of government, whether anything significant is really going to change.
Find us on Facebook. Just head to www.facebook.com/J Air Radio. That's 2 R's. J Air Radio.
Oh, did you block me off there?
Just for a second. Now, big news, something I'm really excited
How
about.
good is Elon Musk?
I was about to say, something I'm really excited about. Elon Musk is now the largest shareholder in one of the wokest organizations on the planet, having bought 9% of the shares in Twitter. And I'm sure in a very short space of time, will invite former President Donald Trump and other people who've been banned from the platform.
Is that what he's aiming to do, you reckon?
I
He's
believe,
going to...
because Elon Musk, the last, 12 months or something, he has taken every opportunity to speak out against all these social media acolytes and what they're doing. He's basically said it gets in the way, or it's contrary. I think I wrote down some sort of. I heard a quote.
I think it cost him $2 billion to buy 10%.
Yeah, something like that.
And now the shares have jumped up by 50%.
Yeah.
How do you like that? He's just made an extra $1 billion.
Yeah. He claimed failing to adhere to the principles of free speech undermines democracy, and that's why
100%.
And that's why he bought in. So he's got the money and he's got the clout, and Twitter will once again become free domain. And as long as what you say is true, which is what free speech is all about,
or your version.
You should know it has to be proven true. So, for example, when someone does write into JM Management to complain about something you have said or I have said, my first response to management is always, can they show that what we said was false? That's where it starts and ends. At the end of the day, JA has a broadcasting license. They have to adhere to what is true and correct, not what upsets delicate little snowflakey people. Right? Are you okay there?
No, your voice was ringing in my head.
Oi.
Elon Musk.
Karen
I don't think there's much actually. There's not really that much to the story. Apart from freedom of speech, he bought another big chunk of a big multinational, a big international company.
There is a lot. There is a big story there because he will end up going up against some of these big tech guys. The YouTubes, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, where they have teams of people to make sure that the community guidelines are being adhered to, that aren't, they've got community guidelines. Oh, everyone's got to get along and be happy, and you're not allowed to upset anybody else. Well, you know what? That's my raison d'etre.
I don't get something, Harry. You're saying that everything has to be factually correct. So does that mean that now anyone who's a transgender and they're a man and now they're a woman, are they allowed to get on Twitter and say, I'm a woman? Is that factually correct? And they can be, or not, and they can be taken off for saying that?
Okay.
It has to be their version of the facts.
Okay. But like, if I'm making a claim about something, so we're still going through this machloikas with, because I shared a story with Dr. John Money and whatever else. Prove that I was wrong in the facts that I provided, and you know what? I'll perform whatever act of contrition management comes up with.
Well, you know you won't. I'd walk out the door just and
that
right
might be,
with you.
That might be my act of. That might be as
That might be the
conciliatory-
contrition.
That might be as conciliatory
Apology accepted.
as I'm prepared to accept. Give him the one finger salute as I'm walking out the door. I think there are.
I think you're on the money, by the way. I think you're right.
You think I was right?
Yeah, after reading that article about him, I think it's just unbelievable.
Hey, I always said, if anybody doesn't believe, go off and do your own research. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll cop it on the chin and do whatever to make it right.
All right, everyone's probably heard enough
But
about
yeah,
Elon
I'm
Musk.
really
So
excited about Elon Musk. Some things I cannot believe coming out of the US. One,
yeah,
could you believe
go on.
that the founders of Black Lives Matter
Yes.
have been using donations to buy themselves luxury houses?
Yeah.
I thought their whole reason for
But
existence
I thought that was old news.
to
I thought we knew that
raise-
6 months
was
ago.
to raise black people up out of the victim mentalities and the
Why is that just getting under your
Floods of-
skin now? We knew about it 6 months
I
ago.
only read about it a couple of days ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I don't know whether someone's refreshed the story or something. I only found out about it a couple of days ago. I mean, there's so much news going on in the world. You can
it's
only
BLM
keep track of
is
so
a-
much. The other one
It's a
that really
complete sham.
Well-
Let me say something.
Oh,
It's a
sorry.
complete sham. BLM has always been a sham.
yes,
And it's nothing to do, in my opinion, with actually standing up for minority rights, because those minority rights are already enshrined. And if you have a issue, then then let us know what it is and take it to court or whatever, and we can all stand up for you, and we'll be right alongside with you, right?
yep.
But to go out in the streets and riot and loot and all that sort of thing under the guise of BLM has just been, right from day one, a disgrace.
Yeah.
And it goes to show, like you said, that these people who received funds for some so-called charity and using it for their own personal wealth to a great largesse.
$6
They,
million house.
Yeah, I hope the people who gave that money, imagine all the thousands
Imagine if you were a mum and dad donator.
who
Oh,
gave
look, here's my $10.
$100. Yeah, $10.
Here's my $10.
Yeah, and it's gone towards this house.
So
Well
they
done.
can live in a $6 million
Yeah,
house.
Good job. Good on you
Um,
for donating.
Yep. Oh, yeah, it must be a rehash of the story, because I saw a video from Candace Owens.
Yeah.
Who I reckon is just brilliant.
She's brilliant.
I reckon Candace. I can see Candace Owens in a couple of years actually running for. We've discussed before
She's
whether it be
a
president or
black
vice president
female
or whatever.
Political
but
commentator
she's a
in
commentator,
America.
but just brilliant. And she just made this quick video going, you know where to find me. I'm happy to accept your apology. I told you back then BLM was a scam. Now you found out that they've gone and bought houses and God knows whatever else.
Yeah.
You all hated me at the time,
Any comments?
calling me a racist. Have we had any comments? Yes, from Karen Luchner. Give us a few lines, Harry. No. And from Daniel Pinisov, cannot wait for Elon to unban Trump from Twitter. Yeah, I don't even know what
Cannot
Trump
wait
had
to unban. Oh, as in reinstate his
reinstated
account.
his account.
Mm,
Right?
100%.
Yep.
Has he
So-
not had his account reinstated?
I don't think so.
I was just watching. I've been watching the reruns of 30 Rock, a great comedy with Tina Fey.
Tina Fey and
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin.
Oh, I love Alec Baldwin in it. I
Yeah.
mean, he's such a
Good thing he didn't shoot anyone in that one.
They're all excellent, the people, and they were actually talking about Twitter. On the one I watched today, they were talking about Twitter, coincidentally, and it was about how quickly can you get the topic in the episode was how quickly can you get banned from Twitter,
Right.
and and he says, "Oh yes, I've got a life ban from Twitter." Of course, it was finished over in a few months.
The other one the other story that I don't know how I came across this one, because I don't intentionally go and look for these things. They just seem to find me.
Yeah.
So the city of Palm Springs in California
Yes.
is now looking to pass legislation to give transgender and non-binary people a universal income.
Universal.
So
income.
basically a guaranteed pension.
Where is Palm Springs? Is that California?
Palm Springs is in California,
Okay.
right?
Why would they want to provide those people in particular with universal income?
I
Because they can't make it in life.
I don't know, because
That's a
I
bit
don't know, because they
It's
can't get
discriminatory.
jobs.
Go and get a freaking job.
That's what I reckon.
I work somewhere. I'm going to be very reluctant
Oh,
to say any
he's-
names. Let me just sort of say this.
Yeah.
So I'm working at a particular place where there are definitely what would appear to me people in this category. I don't want to go too deep, and they are lovely to work with. They work hard. They get along. Why the hell would they need to get a universal income? Absolutely ridiculous
As long as
to
they're
even
prepared to work
suggest
like
it.
anybody else.
Yeah.
Yep.
And getting a job teaches you so much. Apart from the mere fact of socialization and getting out and self-respect and learning how to live within a culture, speaking to people, making sure that the way you conduct yourself in society
Maybe-
is somehow filtered to make sure that everyone is just kind of you
Maybe
can
this
do
is
your
the local.
thing.
Maybe this is the local government's way of keeping these people off the streets. Maybe it's that. Maybe the government is saying, "Well, we can actually,
Oh, so
we can, like,
that is a
they
fantastic
become.
conspiracy
We
idea.
are just going to pay them to stay in their homes, and then this whole issue just goes away because no one's ever going to see them."
Wow.
Have you ever thought that could be
is a
that could be
very
going on?
Curious idea, Harry.
Yes.
Good on you. Good on you for
Yeah,
bringing
yeah.
that up.
And the other thing I only thought of earlier, I don't know why.
You see what happens when you let me speak?
Oh, the most amazing things occur. It actually gives me time to stop and think. So I wish
Can
you
we-
would
can we
interrupt me
actually-
a bit more.
Can
But
we get
what I
a
was thinking-
recording of that?
yeah, please. Anytime you like.
Go on.
So this new Supreme Court appointee who wasn't able to answer what is a woman.
Ketanji
Could-
something Brown. I've got her name here.
Yeah.
Hang on. Her name is Ketanji Brown
Yeah,
Jackson.
Ketanji Brown Jackson. So the Biden administration has turned themselves into knots to try and find a suitable woman to nominate, who then couldn't define what a woman is.
Okay.
Therefore, my
I think we
question
spoke about
is,
this last week.
did we? Therefore, my question is, what is the point of even nominating a woman because she's a woman?
Right. Oh!
You see?
Yes. Well, I thought today
You see,
something
this
along
gets
something
back
along
to-
along similar lines.
Right.
I thought, so tell me, are you a woman? As in, they should have said, "Are you a woman?"
Yeah.
And what would she have answered? Would she have said, "Well, I'm not a biologist, so I don't know"?
No, but you see, this is the problem is because of
see
the way they
that?
answer. Yet, but this is the thing, because the answer to that question is yes, because I identify as a woman.
Ah, well, that maybe
Right.
should have been her answer.
But that's
anyone who identifies as a woman is a
but you
woman.
understand, as I keep saying, the cerebral gymnastics one has to do to make all this make sense. You know,
I wonder if Facebook's going to fact check that.
like how again, you know,
And what-
but
against
people
what?
like me have been asking the question for as long as it's been around.
Yeah.
How can the LGBs be in the same camp as the T's?
Right. Did you say to me the other day that that the what is it? The L and the G's have out of nowhere had to co-opt all the other
Yeah, whether they like it,
multiverse.
whether they like it
of
or not.
genders.
That's right. Whether they like it or
Whether-
not,
yeah.
and whether it even aligns with them at the political level.
Anyway, It's not. I don't really care either way because
But why do these stories keep cropping up?
As far as I'm concerned, they're all. My attitude is they're all people and they're all individuals and they're all unique, just like I'm unique, and I respect you and you'll respect them as well, and that's the end of the story. I mean, I don't have to agree with you just to respect you.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
The
All right,
waste,
so
the
there's
waste of space exploration.
the waste of space.
The waste. Oh! Hang on. What are we talking about? The waste of space or the waste of space
The
exploration?
waste of space exploration.
As in,
I was only-
what a load of rubbish. Why are we going off to
Why
other planets
are we
and
doing
all
it?
that sort of thing?
So the first question is, what do we know now that has made a significant change to our lives since we have been exploring space? I think that's one big question. What has space exploration actually returned to us other than we
Teflon.
now know
Teflon.
that, well, we've had to develop different
New
products
technologies.
because we weren't allowed to kill sperm whales to provide the lubrication on the bearings and
I don't
stuff
wanna
in the
go back
space.
there.
But that's why we have Teflon now.
Okay.
We needed to develop because we stopped killing whales. So
Is that a good enough answer for you?
no, it's not. So other than knowing what sort of rocks the moon's made out of, or getting samples to know what Mars is made out of, what are we really gaining out of it as the human race?
Is that rhetorical, or do you want me to answer?
Yeah, answer.
Well, it's always been, not always, I've come to the conclusion that we're all searching for something. Even scientists who may claim to them to be atheists or whatever, even scientists are searching for something out there to explain everything. And whether you and I look at it as simply answering God, and we're content with that answer, and we feel not just contentment, not just in a simple kind of answer, but we have deeper sort of beliefs and all that structures around that anyway. But scientists, researchers, are always looking for something deeper that they can pin something to and go, that's the answer. That's the reason. Like, for example, I was watching, who was it? Who's that really funny comedian who made
Chris Rock.
no, like him. The other guy from The Office, but the English one. The one who did the stand up at the Golden Globes last year and rocked everyone.
Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
That's it. So Ricky Gervais.
Thank you, producer. Thank you, God. And
get
F off.
Yeah. So Ricky Gervais
Well, thank you, agent.
has this. He was sitting with one of the American late night presenters, and he said, we have proven that everything in the universe was in a singularity in the beginning, and it was microscopically small, and then it exploded. We've proven it. We've done it. And this is a video that I've seen from that I saw only a couple of days ago, and it relates to something he said, 5 years ago,
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm watching my latest YouTube, who's Physics Girl. Physics Girl tells me everything now, all the latest stuff, especially about physics. And she says, the singularity that they're talking about, where the Big Bang was not so small. It was big. It was not a microscopic, tiny little nothing of singularity of all the matter in the entire. She said it was big.
It had to have been big. It was just every atom in the
Yeah, that's
universe
right.
with no space in between.
So now,
it.
is Ricky Gervais has his kind of atheist sort of reliance on science, or all of a sudden been rocked
But the
because
problem-
it wasn't correct?
But the problem with atheists go, oh, well, we know how the universe started was the Big Bang. You go, okay, hotshot, what was before that?
it, yeah.
But the point I'm getting at is a few weeks ago,
Yes,
a
please.
Chinese satellite.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
No, anytime, mate. You really, all you got to do is say, hey, shut up, and I shut up. Right? I will be mid-sentence. If you say shut it, I shut it. But a couple of weeks
I was thinking
ago,
of a yellow card and red card system.
a Chinese satellite crashed into the moon. Now, I'm not so concerned about the damage it did to the moon, or now the fact that there's this satellite that's potentially strewn across a large area of the moon's surface, and there's no cleanup crew because the environment, of which there is none on the moon. But it got me to thinking, that is 3 ton of resources that's no longer available for use on Earth.
Okay, good one.
Right?
Yep.
Like, here we are talking about sending missions to Mars and all this sort of stuff.
Yep.
We have to take absolutely everything from here to get there and then stay there.
Well, that's why they're doing the research. They're hoping to find enough things there that they can actually
Right. But in the
live there
meantime,
and even possibly come
but in
back.
the meantime, we've got kids scared out of their brains
Like they might
because,
find petrol.
yeah, you never know, because of dinosaurs. You know, like,
Fossil
do you,
fuels
do you understand when you go to the petrol station, you're filling up the tank with liquefied dinosaur remains? Like, that's what it is. But so we've got all these kids running around in abject fear that we're depleting all these resources here on Earth,
Yep.
and it's affecting the environment, and yet we have this massive global space industry.
All right,
thing
so what do you
going
want to say
on.
about it?
I don't know. I don't think
Waste
it's
of money.
returning. Is it returning us
Yeah, go on.
such great material benefits in knowledge,
Yeah.
or is it really just a bunch of scientists, you know, giving governments the great big circle jerk and just running experiments for the sake of it to justify their paychecks?
Maybe.
We are broadcasting live so your friends and family from around the world can tune in and follow live events as they happen. Listen to us live on jair.com.au.
I don't mind them going to space.
Yeah, as long as most of them had stayed. We should send politicians to space. That's like if we're gonna send astronauts and pioneers and whatever, because they know how to talk to the aliens that don't
Okay.
exist.
So the last 5 minutes, so we're in our machine gun topics.
Okay,
Are you
ask
sick
and I
of
answer?
Are you sick of seeing Naomi
Well, I told
Osaka
you. I told you
crying?
what was it? 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago? Like, you are at the pinnacle. If you can't keep it together, step down, because you don't inspire young people
With crying.
to it's not inspirational
It's
at
really,
all.
it's the girl who cried wolf. Really?
But what are you crying about? What are you crying about?
Gee, just enjoy yourself.
I'm like the best tennis
Who
player in the
cares?
world. I make more money. You know, I've now made
Yeah.
more money than God.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go and have a crying session. I can pay for any. You know what? If I wanted private sessions with Dr. Jordan Peterson himself,
cares?
I can afford to do that, and
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll provide me as many tissues as I need whilst I cry my heart out to him. In the meantime, while I'm sitting in front of the media, I'm going to be a mensch about it and hold myself up and be a shining light
That's it.
to other young women.
and look like you're having a bit of fun and enjoying yourself, because that's what we want to see.
Yeah, but lefties can't have fun.
Where are we up to with the slap? With doing a Will, my family, we've stopped saying, "Do you want a Will Smith around our house?" we went for almost a week saying, "Do you want a Will Smith?"
Yeah, if you don't behave yourself, you'll get what Will Smith got, or you'll get what Chris Rock got. I'll Will Smith your tochas.
Someone didn't agree with us on Shabbos.
A number of people that we spoke to on Shabbos didn't agree with us, and from what I can tell, it was more about a moral stance on the type of relationship that Will Smith has with his wife. It wasn't a case of you should never stand up for your wife. And as I even discussed last week, I don't think I would have started with the slap. I may have finished with the slap, but I wouldn't have started with the slap. I probably would have handled that whole situation the other way around myself.
I can imagine walking up to him on stage and just putting your hand on his shoulder and say,
This isn't gonna happen again, is it, mate?
No. Apologise, and we'll move on.
Yeah. And look, from that perspective, I get it. Apparently, it's no secret that she's got a boyfriend and running around publicly and blah, 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 blah. Right. So for him to get up in order to defend her honour is a bit, really, do you expect us to believe that? But at the end of the day, I'm still not going to walk back from, he kind of did the right thing. You know?
I've been watching a little bit more of. We've been seeing a bit more of Bill Maher, who's the another political kind of commentator, late night show, whatever he is in America. And
I can't tell which way he
can't
swings
tell which way,
politically.
No. But this week he comes at the moment. I was sort of getting into a vibe of a little bit of respect for him.
Yep.
And now this week he says that Jada should be lucky that she only has alopecia, and if it's such a big deal for you, get a freaking wig. Get stuffed, mate. Get stuffed. I mean, if there's someone that I want to slap, it's him. How dare you? How dare you belittle someo's illness like that?
There's a lot of people making a lot of comment. Ricky Gervais, again, you know, I wouldn't have made. He's, and again, I'm probably paraphrasing here, but I would have made a joke.
He's probably bigger than me.
Who, Ricky Gervais?
No, Bill Maher. I would
but Ricky Gervais said I wouldn't have made a joke about Jada's hair.
He wouldn't have?
No. He would have made a joke about her boyfriend.
Yeah.
The right stuff. All right, keep going. Shotgun questions.
Ukraine, I think it's coming to an end. Right?
I don't know.
Don't know?
I can only hope.
I think they're coming to an end. Interest rates are going to stay. They're going to stay low. For how long? They keep talking about interest rates and inflation, and it's going to go up, and eventually we're going to stay low, and it's going to go up eventually. And
well, I'll tell you, the last 3, maybe 6, probably 6 months, there has been you can feel the inflation in the air. You just know things are going up.
It seems to me that we're at the end of it.
The cost of Coca-Cola has gone up enormously.
How could inflation not have gone up? Everything we're spending our money on has gone up.
Everything we're spending our money has gone up for a whole bunch of other reasons. But we have had wages stagnation.
Yeah.
So then you start to couple that into, if the Reserve Bank decides to start raising interest rates, that's going to put more of a squeeze on people than they're already experiencing. But the prices keep going up, which has nothing to do with really with what's going on in Australia, because we don't produce nothing
regardless
in this country. A few fruit and veggies, and that's about it.
We've got to get Russia off the UN Security Council. That's got to be a priority of the United Nations. How they can keep stonewalling and blockading all the opinion against.
But let's be honest, every part of the UN is and has been a moribund organisation
100%.
for the last 30 years.
Okay, now this weekend I'm going to be cushering at my house before 10 a.m. on Sunday, 53 Erseldene. So come and, if you need your pots cushered or your cutlery cushered or whatever, I'll be doing it then.
Fantastic.
And
if you'd like to hear us sing, Karen, come to Caulfield Shul. The Chevra are singing this.
That's one way to get people to come to Shul.
For Kabbalat Shabbat on Friday evening. I think Mincha is at
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Oh, hang on. Times have changed.
Yeah, so what is Mincha's at 5:45?
No, it must be. Oh, maybe. Oh, no, it might stay around 6.
Mincha will start at 6 and then Kabbalat Shabbat. Or Shabbos morning, we start at 9:30, 9:45.
Good Shabbos, Harry
good
Grove.
Shabbos to everyone.
Thanks for everyone
Thank you
for listening.
all very much.
And you're up with Dwayne next.
Yeah.
On Ital. What's it called?
Ital Music 84.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Harry knows.
Yeah, something like that. I'm too busy trying to...
Now I'm
don't know why I
celebrating.
put that
Quick,
in.
get off.
Yeah, alrighty.
Bye.
Everybody have a great weekend.
To the 90s.
You could take off the glasses, please.
Друзья, слушайте.
This is the Israel Connection. My name is David Schulberg.
We do jazz with Gepper.
Thursday to Soul Time.
And if you want to change from the usual JAIR 88 FM and on the internet.
JAIR takes its COVID-19 responsibilities extremely seriously, and so should you. Keeping healthy and safe is our #1 priority for our management, presenters, volunteers and listeners. Keep your personal distance to at least